And when I was doing it over there, I remember just being in the middle of that entire course, and I think a week. We're not able to regulate them. We're not able to get them out or express.
Exactly.
So I think that's where expressive arts therapy comes.
Like I used to sing, I used to do dance.
Nice.
I used to.
You look like a dancer.
This is what I mean, because people say, "Oh, you came home." I'm like, no, I came to home house. Happiness के बारे में बता रहे. It is as it is. Like आपको जहाँ पे homely feel हो, वो happiness आपके है. I feel, is your happiness free? So they're like, what is happiness is free? I mean, happiness is costly. I said, exactly. Your happiness is not free. Hi guys, so this is Nishtha. I'm the founder of Mirror You, social entrepreneur, emotional literacy coach, and the author of Emotionally High. Today we'll be introducing to one of the guests who is into holistic space. She's an express art therapist, and she's running her own foundation named Happiness Through Art, where we would learn about her approach towards healing, psychology, and the way emotions work for her. So, hello, ma'am.
Hi, Nishtha. How are you?
Hi, ma'am. I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm good.
Nice.
Great to be here.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. So, ma'am, firstly, I would want to know, as the name suggests, happiness through art.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean by happiness? I mean, what is exactly your definition of happiness?
So I feel that we all have a goal in life, and it's to find happiness. Because the thing is, we do a lot of things in life, but
Right.
why do we do them?
Right.
We do them for a reason. It's not to be sad. It's
Right.
not to be upset in
Yeah.
life. It's to find some sense of joy, some
Right.
sort of happiness in it.
Right.
So Happiness Through Art is a venture that it's actually a name that got started a long time ago. So I named my Instagram name that, but it turned into something else. And slowly it turned into something in which I realized that, emotions, art, everything included can be happiness.
It's a paradox. It's interlinked.
Oh yeah, it is definitely.
It is interlinked.
Yes.
So, how did you think that we can correlate art with happiness? I mean, how did that thing came up? I mean, your personal experience. Yeah.
So I'm actually an expressive arts therapist, as you just mentioned.
Yeah.
So I worked a lot with emotions in that way, especially during the pandemic.
Right.
There were a lot of people coming on
Right.
board and talking to me about their emotions, drawing them out, sketching them out. That's when I realized that happiness is one of the emotions that we're genuinely looking for, And when I draw, when I do art, I really look for happiness, and I feel that happiness. I feel that joy through art. So that's how the name came about, and that's why I got into it as well.
Right. So it's basically the inner happiness that you feel. It is through art. That
Okay.
is your way of expression.
Yeah.
Because art is a very broad topic where it covers music, it covers art form, it covers dance, and acting, lot of space.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a creative space where you are highlighting a broad umbrella term, that is art, where you are trying to approach emotions from a very different space, where you are using different methods, and you're trying to make their inner emotions come out on paper. Because as we all know that emotions are a very a space where we are misunderstood. Like, people think that emotion means weakness. That is how people correlate with emotion, right? They would be like, neglect it, distract yourself, don't think about your emotion. People who are emotional are tagged as weak, as are tagged as something you can't do anything in your life. So how did you come to a point where you tried to convert that weakness into a weapon? How did that happen?
I think it all started when I was a child.
Right.
I've always been this child with a lot of energy, and you spoke
Right.
about what emotions really are. Would you like to say emotions?
Yeah.
I love
So
that.
I feel like emotions are nothing but emotions are energy in motion.
Yeah.
So when we think about energy, it is neither be created, cannot be destroyed as well.
Yeah.
So energy को आप मतलब destroy भी नहीं कर सकते हो, create भी नहीं कर सकते हो. It is a source. It is a thing that is natural, that's present. तो आप उसे चैनलाइज कर सकते हो, आप उसे रेगुलेट कर सकते हो, बट आप उसे जितना कंट्रोल करने की कोशिश करोगे, बिकॉज वी ऑल हैव बीन कंडीशन इन सम वे और द अदर कि आप कंट्रोल करो. सो इट्स नेक्स्ट टू इम्पॉसिबल बिकॉज दैट एनर्जी is even faster than light. Light तो फिर भी आप मतलब कर पा रहे हो फिजिक्स के ये से, एनर्जी आप देख नहीं पा रहे हो. You cannot like how can you even think of caging it?
Yeah.
I mean it's something childish, something I mean a fallacy that everyone is going through कि आप energy को like control करो. And the more if you would have observed in your own healing journey that the more you try to curb that energy, the more forcibly it comes out.
Yeah.
It bursts out like a volcano.
Oh.
And now after that the things become more worse. You feel more miserable, more guilty. So how did that happen with you as a child? What all experiences were there that triggered you, that you experienced, no, I'm going through that emotional vicious cycle and the turmoil where I'm unable to even regulate or understand what's happening with me, right?
I think I always had a very good space around me. So there was no trigger point. It was more on the sense of that, I think just understanding that what is happening in life
Yeah.
and why am I feeling all these emotions. Once you start understanding why you're feeling emotions, what is happening and make sense of it, you're able to start, you're able to regulate them.
Reflect it. Reflect it and then regulate it. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So first, like I think you and I will both agree on that first you just have to sit down and understand what is happening.
Yeah.
But to be able to understand that, first someone has to bring that into focus for you, right? Either there's a trigger point, as you mentioned, or there's some point in your life that makes you realize like, oh my God, like I'm not being true to myself.
Yeah.
There are all these emotions, there are all these thoughts, there are all these feelings, but we're not able to like regulate them. We're not able to get them out or express them.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I think that's where expressive arts therapy comes in. And that's when I started understanding that there's actually a scientific way of expressing things. I've been an artist all my life. So artist means that I've done theater, I write, I draw, I sketch. I love to sing even though people don't like to hear my voice mostly.
That's perfectly okay. Yeah.
But these things are what like actually bring a lot of creativity, right? And you're able to express yourself.
You've been into that creative space from a very young age.
Yes.
Yeah. Even I've been into that creative space. I used to sing, I used to do dance.
Nice.
I used to...
You look like a dancer, you dress up like a dancer actually.
I was an Odissi dancer.
Yeah.
Yeah, back then. And right now I'm a vocalist. I do sing.
Okay.
I sing and I write. So if we come to that art wala, like writing wala space and art wala space, I would want to know what was that, break-even point where you felt like this is it. Like this should be what I need to do as a career or as a purpose of life got, focused. What was that point?
I think finding that career point is very important in life, especially for us. It may not be the end goal, but it's definitely something that helps us reach there. I realized that when I was doing my arts-based therapy course, which is also expressive arts therapy course from Snehadhara Foundation, Bangalore. And when I was doing it over there, I remember just being in the middle of that entire course and I think a week had lapsed or something and just realizing like, wow, I feel like I'm at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was with people and they were also doing something therapeutic. I was also doing something therapeutic and I've done art all my life. So it wasn't something which should have been different, but it was. Because the therapeutic space in itself helps you express yourself so beautifully and that too in the presence of people who understand you, who are able to respect your emotions. Once you have that, everything just changes, And when I realized, wow, there is a scientific approach to what I've been feeling in my life, I think that's when everything changed.
So you talked about home right now. So like a space where you feel effortless.
Yeah.
You don't have to do something external to make others happy or validated or where you're going out of your boundary to please someone. You didn't feel that people pleasing mask. You didn't wear that thing in that space. That was the reason you felt home, right?
Yeah.
So like what is basically how would you define home? Like what is that for you?
I think you put it really well. Home is where you feel comfort and you find that you don't have to be someone else.
Right.
You don't have to be something else.
Exactly.
So whether it's pleasing someone else, but I think if you just change the narrative and if you look at it as that instead of pleasing someone else, how do you feel about yourself, When you're comfortable in your own skin and at the same time, you're able to feel comfortable in the environment around
Right,
you.
very fair.
So I think that is home for me.
Yeah.
You can be at home anywhere,
Yeah. Yeah.
like if you're comfortable
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah.
So
So my like personal definition about home is home is not a house. Home is not a place or not a lot of people around you.
Mhm.
The more secure your inner home is,
Yeah.
the more secure you can build a outer home.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So that is what I believe, that home is never an external thing.
Mhm.
It is always within yourself, and the clarity or the you have with your emotions, the security that you have within yourself, the way you love yourself, that makes you build a outer home or outer space where you are a home in yourself.
Oh yeah.
So as a person, you are a home. Wherever you go, you create homely environment. That is what I mean. Because people say, oh, you came home. I'm like, no, I came to a house. I come to a home. A house doesn't make it a home. To make it a home, you have to first do that one thing that I believe, that you need to develop and create that intrapersonal relationship to actually create interpersonal relationship.
Oh yeah.
But people think people are invested, or you can say they're consumed in interpersonal relationship where they've been running behind impressing someone or maybe making their family happy or XYZ reasons. And they are struggling within themselves because they have never ever sat, as you mentioned before, that you need to sit with yourself and see, like feel what is going on in your mind. People usually don't even reflect, don't even talk with themselves.
Yeah.
And they find it very childish. They is like, so they carry that, masked approach every time, where they want constant fake validation from others. Like, what I feel is, अपने happiness के बारे में बताए रख, it is as it is. Like, आपको जहाँ पे homely feel हो, वो happiness आपके है. I feel happiness is something that is free. That is free means, I tell my clients, I ask them every time that question, ki, what is happiness for you? They'd be saying, oh, I'm doing this job, so that's why I'm happy. I am at this position, that's why I'm happy. I am making my family happy, that's why I'm happy. So my point of view is like, is your happiness free? So they're like, what is happiness is free? I mean, happiness is costly. I said, exactly, your happiness is not free. That is the reason you need to understand that you are just sitting at a place, you are trying to fake a smile, and all the reason, your hands, your legs, everywhere, you're a chained prisoner, and you're attached with different energies or different people out there in the worldly space, where your condition की हम जितना उनके ऊपर इन्वेस्ट करेंगे हमें हैप्पीनेस मिल जाएगी. So the thing is that you are giving your your energy का remote का button to them, and you're expecting कि वो हमें happy रखे. So it's never gonna happen. So your energy is discreted. When you're doing this, your happiness is never free. Because happiness is, as apne bola, it is something effortless, and it is more of an inward journey than an outward journey. So why is it like condition? Why do people think it in a way कि like happiness है तो हमें दूसरों को खुश रखने से ही happiness मिलेगी? Why does that happen? As an express art therapist, you have been to that space where you've been talking with so many people going through so many traumas and all. Every time you'd be like looking with different cases, you'd be seeing a space where they are blaming others. They are not taking the charge. They're not taking the responsibility. I want to know more about that. Yeah.
So I think happiness is something which is a very complicated yet a very simple thing. I think we make it complicated.
Exactly.
It's not that complicated because if you look at children, they're happy.
Yeah.
You know, they're very happy.
Exactly.
The newborns maybe thoda sa rote zyada hai. But
Yeah.
when you're like maybe 2 years old or something, it's very...
They're toddlers.
They're toddlers, yes.
Yeah.
They're toddlers. It's very easy to be happy, you know.
Yeah.
As we grow up, it becomes more difficult to be
Why
happy.
does that happen? What do you think?
I think we have maybe some expectations that we start feeling upon ourselves. Then we have expectations from others. We realize that, wow, the world doesn't only live inside our heads. It's also the outward thing. But I think to answer your question, like your earlier question, it's a lot about we expect ourselves to be happy if others are happy.
Exactly.
But the thing is that it's actually the
The other way
reverse.
around, yes. So as a child, I feel that as आपने mention किया कि child बहुत happy रहता है because वो carefree रहता है. वो ना वो expectation, वो attachment, वो insecurity, वो fear, ये सब का चीज ही नहीं लाता है mind में. So the thing is that the moment we start getting conditioned by the society, by your primary caregivers, by your secondary caregivers, and your peers,
Yeah.
we start seeing a world from a very different point of view, where we start objectifying ourselves. We start objectifying ourselves. We don't experience life. We start putting a full stop or a barrier to our energy point, where we feel कि ये करेंगे तो happiness मिल जाएगी. Because every time if you go to a school, we have been like इतना marks ले आओगे तो मैं आपको ये दे दूंगा. आप अगर क्लास में फर्स्ट आ गए तो सब आपको अच्छे अच्छे बोलेंगे. सो इट्स लाइक फ्रॉम अ वेरी यंग एज पेरेंट्स एंड हाउ द कंडीशनिंग ऑफ आवर सोसाइटी इज दैट वी आर कॉन्स्टेंटली स्टिग्माटाइज्ड कि बच्चे के ऊपर प्रेशर डालो ताकि तब जाके वो कुछ बन पाएगा. सो डू यू थिंक इट इज रियल कि कुछ like there are many people out there who have shifted to non-conventional parenting and who have started doing homeschool, and they have started using holistic approaches where their parenting is much more different than the conventional schools, where they are taking different realistic based approach. They're traveling, they are doing workshops, they're themselves educating and taking the charge of the child. And how do you think that space works, and how can you think that how integrating that as a society would actually help us?
That's actually a complicated question, because the thing is that it is very important to have a social life as well.
Right.
We don't know exactly what effects does that kind of parenting and like schooling, education have on the children, right? There might be studies, I'm not aware of them.
Yeah.
But the thing is that if everyone starts doing that, we'll all be a little far away from each other.
Right.
So schools are actually really important for us in some way. That's what I believe, because they bring us together. They teach us, like they teach small children how to, interact with each other, maybe share with each other, how to work together. If there's a project, or if like you have to maybe share something, share a pencil or something, how do you do that?
So basically you're trying to make this point that for that social interaction and social life, we need the school life.
Yes, but at the same time, the schooling that's there today, the education system that's there today is not a good one. I myself have been through that kind of schooling. We all have, I think.
We all have.
It's bad. I mean, it makes you feel like you're traumatized. Yeah, that's actually the point. And children are small. They're so small. Like they don't know what's happening with them. They don't understand why they're not able to like do what they've set out to do, or like why are they being compared to others. They don't understand. They're just kids. Right. So that's one of the things that I really hope, like I think this is a start to be able to bring home education and like holistic parenting and stuff like that. That's a very good start. But at the same time, I think we need to evolve. We need to be able to figure out different ways of being able to parent and educate.
So personally, parenting is something very close to my heart. So I feel like जैसे होम स्कूलिंग का टॉपिक हमने लाया है ना, सो आई फील होम स्कूलिंग को हम एक होलिस्टिक वे में कर सकते हैं, वेयर वी कैन क्रिएट सम स्पेसेस जहाँ पे यू कैन इंटीग्रेट सोशल इंटरेक्शन विथ रियल लाइफ बेस्ड पीपल, लाइक ट्रैवल जैसे हमने बोला, वीड बी टेकिंग द लाइक चाइल्ड अलॉन्ग विथ यू, एंड वो जो है ना पब्लिक इंटरेक्शन, कॉन्फिडेंस, सेल्फ एस्टीम from a very young age we can start building. Because I feel the current scenario, how it has turned is, we are only making literate morons. That's how it is. I mean, you would meet with many people, but they would be only literate. They're not educated. What I feel is education always comes from self. When you choose ki I will learn something, and in this generation people are not even at a point or space where they are having a learning attitude. If you say something, people have that ego clashes, people have that preconceived notions where they say, we know everything. We know everything, and you are asking or you are telling out of a space where you want a more clarity on the topic, where you want to know something more. But seldom you would find people, those who are receptive to respect your opinions, which doesn't align with them. They'd be trying to, like condition you in their way, try to bully you, maybe try to traumatize you, or maybe try to do that, hostile approach where they'd be trying to boast their own ideologies over you. But I feel like parenting ho gaya, emotions ho gaya, and the whole process of healing is something very much internal and very much individual, where you need people, but not to get attached, but to love them. Because where you learn something called community service, where you learn something called selfless act, where you learn कि हमें एक point पे जाके society को serve करना है, उससे लेना नहीं है. You learn how to give instead of taking. But usually if you see people, they are conditioned कि आप कैसे किसी से कुछ ले सकते हो, आप कैसे उनसे कैसे exploit कर सकते हो. To be very fine, right now the way we have all been conditioned, even parents, even children, even young adults and the young mothers and everyone, we are just unconsciously and recklessly exploiting each other and ourselves also. Because we have not taken that pause. That pause is required in life, where you sit with yourself, you pause, you just slow down, and you reflect on your own emotions, on your own thoughts, on your own actions. Is it what I'm aligned with? Is it what I really feel like doing? Is it like is it me or not? So people don't do that, and I feel like they are using multiple masks, not even one mask, multiple masks, where if you try to communicate and say, or try to even show them the mirror, they would be like, no, this is not me. They would start getting intimidated. They would start feeling कि आप उनको use करना चाह रहे हो, या फिर आप उनको बेनकाब कर रहे हो, but it is for their own good, which they don't understand. Like there would be at times where like traumatic people would be coming, and if I say something blunt to them, they will be like, आपने ऐसे कैसे बोल दिया, ये मेरे लिए नहीं है, आप झूठ बोल रहे हो. And then after few sessions, they'd be coming and acknowledging, आपने जो बोला था पूरा right बोला था. We are this. Our reality is this. We are just faking a smile, but we are not happy with it. We are just trying to satisfy everyone around us, but we never asked, are we in love with ourselves? Do we even know ourselves? So love तो बहुत बात आता है. Do we even hear ourselves? Do we even listen ourselves? The first point I feel कि जब आप healing journey को आने के लिए to accept yourself, there are multiple steps. Like usually abhi there are many mental health apps or many mental health support that is being available right now, but they spread awareness. But I feel awareness is first step. Awareness के बाद आता है attention, उसके बाद आता है acknowledgement, उसके बाद आता है accountability, उसके बाद आता है affection, उसके बाद आता है appreciation, and then comes acceptance. So it's a 7-step process that we use in Mirror You, where we guide them. We take from a point where they are not even knowing about emotions. We consider them as a child. Irrespective of any age it is, we take them from a process where they are aware and they accept themselves. So that is a very rigorous process where they try to see, यार, like हम ये हैं, हमारी emotions के साथ हमारा bond ऐसा है, and it is out of our negligence that has become like that, because we have not even taken the charge of our own emotions. हमने हर वक्त अपने emotions का सौदा कर दिया. We have always taken it for something external. May it be some food, or may it be some other thing that we feel might give us happiness. So how is the concept of love and self-love according to you, like your personal definition?
I think we as a society don't have it easy, very honestly. I think what happens is that we're asked to change ourselves, but
To love someone else.
to love someone else. But at the same time, it's very difficult to do that, because the thing is, we don't have the system to be able to like follow up on those things. We might, I think as a therapist, I realized that, you might tell someone, what, this is something that's happening, or make them realize that, even if you're not telling, because, but at the same time, to be able to make them realize that is not
easy.
It's not easy, and it's not the end step.
Not end step. It's the first step.
Yes,
Yeah.
because the thing is that after that, it's a very difficult thing to realize a lot of difficult emotions. It's a very difficult thing to realize a lot of things, because these are patterns that have been going on for years.
Right.
But at the same time, it's something that one teacher of mine told me, that, sometimes it's okay to let people be in that space. It is okay to let them be, because the thing is that right now they might be a little more vulnerable. They might be in a space where they might not have that sense of self-love. But that kind of thought that you've put into their head, they will start mulling over it, and somewhere along the way come and be like, maybe be ready to change. We can't force people to love themselves or to change.
Right.
And we shouldn't, because the thing is that at the end of the day, I think what we can do, you and I, as people in this world, is that build those systems that help people to be able to love themselves.
It's always about a choice. Always.
Yes,
because it's how I see that between B and D, it's C. So between birth and death, that's choice. That makes your life. I mean, life is a choice. So it is a conscious choice, but to a point where I see that to make a conscious choice, as you said, we cannot force people. Even people come to me, they would be like, we want to change. So I ask them a very blunt question: are you conscious about this? That you really want to change? Because if you're not conscious, then please live the same life. Please. Because it's all about, because it's a rigorous process, again, as you said. Because once they accept themselves, then the real journey starts. And we think that acceptance से खत्म हो गया. No. Acceptance से real journey start होता है जब आप emotions को और deeply feel करते हो. आप हर चीज को और keenly observe करते हो, critically analyze करते हो. तो ये चीज हुआ, because you are aware and you are receptive of every nook and corner. So आपको वो जो energy, जो ऊर्जा है आपके body में, उसको balance करना, that is something very creative space where you need to express, you need to love yourself, you need to be kind enough to others, you need to be giving, where you become a source. I feel you become a source where I feel universe doesn't give you if you ask something. I mean, I feel if you ask something, you never get that. Like you only get that when you are that. Like you get something when you are that. When you become that, you get that, because you resonate that frequency. And you don't beg others for that thing. Suppose if I want love, I'll become love. I'll start giving it, I'll start creating it. So I will be an abundance of love. I have to create that space within myself where I create a zone where I don't ask people for things. I have to give. I serve people, because, and after that, that love multifolds. That comes reverse. It's like this is how it's magically universe works, or you might call them God, universe, or higher source. But it is how it is, and people think we ask for it, we get it. No, it doesn't happen. You cannot demand something which is not even yours. You cannot demand something which you are not. If you are something, you will always cling with that energy. Will always resonate with those kind of set of people, those kind of energies. And we start blaming कि नहीं, लोगों ने ये कर दिया, लोगों ने वो कर दिया. The power never lies with people. The power every time lies with yourself. So to come to a point that we understand ourselves or love ourselves, I feel like a lot of self-work is needed. And to be honest, self-love is something which is highly ignored by thinking that हम इसे बाद में कर सकते हैं.
Also misinterpret.
Yeah, misinterpreted that you are selfish if you're loving yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, people think that is. I mean, there's very much difference. I feel that there are two extreme points. That is, one is selfishness, and another is selflessness. And the middle one, that is the balance, strike balance. That is the main position of the pendulum. That is self-respect. So if you try to balance that you're not too selfish, you're not too selfless, you're being happy. Because you're respecting yourself, that is the reason you are able to respect others. Because people try to be their idealistic versions, and that is also shady. Those are more miserable people than someone who is telling कि हाँ हमने crime किया है. There are people, those who try to enact that they are very idealistic. There are many multiple cases that you would be going through where people were showcasing a total different life, but the inner demons like made them into a criminal. Where rapists वही हुए जो खुद law में थे. There were people, those who were into some medical space, but they created some surgery which was unethical. So it is always that आपके पास ना चार्ज हर वक्त इमोशन के पास ही होता है. सिचुएशन में कभी चार्ज ही नहीं होता है. सपोज सम इवेंट हैपेंड, it is just a situation. If I equate it with an emotion, may it be positive, may it be negative, that empowers or ignores that situation, that becomes a problem or a solution. So it is always in your hand कि आप situation को as it is लेना चाहते हो. I mean, don't give any emotion, don't give any power to that situation. If you don't want that situation to take over you, don't invest in it. I feel like people need to understand that emotions are investments. Because if you recklessly fight every battle that comes to you, you will be wounded. You would be wounded and you would be at a space where you know how to fight. But you're fighting every battle that is coming on your way. You're not even contemplating, do I even deserve this battle? Do I genuinely and consciously want to fight this battle? And people are feeling, जो हमारे रास्ते पे आएगा हम वो fight करेंगे. That is not how it works. I mean, you need to pause, you need to like reflect.
Let go also sometimes.
Let go, right? The let go part that you said. I mean, there are two things. Abhi, I feel you can forgive people. And it is hard. It is freaking hard to forgive people. Because you come from a space where you see कि उसने मेरे साथ बुरा किया है, लेकिन I am not like him or her. Because मेरा frequency level अलग है. उन्होंने अपने frequency पे काम किया. अब I wouldn't be treating him at his own frequency, or else I will lower my frequency and come to his or her orbit. So that we think and we pour them and we become kind and understanding कि forgiveness देते हैं. But we shouldn't forget. We shouldn't forget because not to remember or like keep grudges, no. But you need to learn your lesson that God is teaching you, that universe is teaching you कि अगर आप ये अपने आप metamorphosis नहीं करते हो ना, आप grow नहीं करते हो. Like until and unless you change yourself from the past version, from your yesterday's version, you can't grow as a person where you break your own boundaries, where you expand yourself. So that is what I feel like we need to learn how to love ourselves.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And love should come always within, and it is actually another space where I want to know what is your definition of love. Like आपको love के बारे में like tell something about that. कि what do you feel about love?
I think love is something which is pure and should be pure. If you're attached to someone that's not love, I think you mentioned that earlier. Love is also something that should come naturally, and it's a feeling, but it's also a learned feeling.
Exactly.
You learn to love someone out of maybe the goodness of your heart, compassion, stuff like that. Kindness. Yes. It's going to sound very filmy, but you know that thing कि अगर तुम मुझसे प्यार करते हो तो like I truly believe it. That अगर तुम मुझसे प्यार करते हो उसको छोड़ दो, stuff like that. It actually like makes sense that just like don't hold on to them so close that it becomes toxic
Yeah.
for you and for them.
Yeah.
Just let them be.
The point that you mentioned, love is never attachment firstly. Love is always something where you want their expansion, you want their growth.
Yeah.
Mentally, physically, emotionally, intellectually, spiritually. You want that वो person जो है वो अपने journey में बहुत आगे जाए.
Yeah.
You are at a space where you want to guide them. You want कि वो free रहे. You don't want to cage them. You don't want to control them, or you don't want to condition them कि आप मेरे हिसाब से ये करो. So that becomes a dictatorship ना.
Yeah.
Where you try कि वो आपके puppet की तरह नाचे. That is not how love is. Love is freedom. Love is growth. Love is a space where it is a continuous process. I mean, it doesn't stop. It doesn't have a full stop. I feel like when people ask about like what love is, personally speaking, I feel you can never understand love until you have not been through things that is not love. So to go a little bit closer or a one step towards love, you have to understand what are the things that are not love.
Yeah.
So you have to been through that puddle. You have to been through that darkness to understand कि आप लोटस का तेज क्या है, उसका पंकज क्या है, उसको understand करने के लिए you have to go through that muddy process where you have to be through the like shady things about those attachments, insecurities, fears, and about all those struggles that the person has been through or you have been through. Then you understand कि no, beyond this there exists something pure, unconditional and selfless where I don't expect. I'm a giver. I'm not a taker. I'm giving something. I'm like creating a space where I want that person to expand irrespective of me being there or not being there.
Yeah.
So that is pure love. And I feel love is complete in itself. You can never complete love with someone else. I mean, I feel people say, no, ki you complete me. I mean, that is very much childish, to be honest.
Yeah.
You can, until and unless you are complete in yourself and they are complete in themselves, you both can never come to a point or a space where you can complete, you can generate a divine energy where you can complete each other. Because it's about the wholes making their own recreation or like building a life where you pour, I pour, and we grow, kind of. But people think it's like I'm exploited, you are exploited, we both will exploit each other.
Yeah.
It's kind of that space. When, you know, that's very much funny, but it is, people would come to me for their patch-ups and their breakups. And after 1 hour of discussion, we come to a conclusion that there never existed love. There never existed. And what is the surface of that, you know? We find out that it's all about emotional exploitation. Where I see that if you have an emotion that I don't have, and I've felt a void in that emotion, I would try to exploit you subconsciously. That doesn't happen consciously. People would be doing it subconsciously or unconsciously, but they would be like, I want this person. I want to possess that person because I am empty in this way. And if that person comes to me, they will complete me. Same happens. Even the other person thinks, oh, I don't have love. I am busy with my life. I want someone else who can give me love. So I feel at an emotional level also, if you're exploiting someone, that is also cheating. That is also exploiting.
You're actually talking about attachment styles
Exactly,
right now.
attachment styles. I mean, avoidant and anxious one.
Avoidant and anxious.
Two
We're talking
types
about
of
the two.
Exactly.
And then secure is obviously the balance of
Exactly,
it. Yeah.
exactly. What I feel is when this thing happens, which happens very normally, very naturally, everyone goes through that. That you mentioned about, very rightly mentioned about patterns. Until and unless we choose a partner who is not in our partner, is not in our pattern. So we have to break that cycle, break that generational trauma, and break that conscious. We have to be conscious enough to identify our own patterns.
Yeah.
And choose a partner who is not falling in that pattern.
Yes. That's
So, malab, there are people, those who come in relationship and they just want to take things. And that, because what happens is, अब बहुत लोग बोलेंगे कि no, we genuinely love them, but try to understand this from a very like deep point of view. Because suppose I don't have love, suppose. Let's take example. You have love. You have abundance of love. But you don't have security, I have security. So we decided we'll come along and we'll be in a relation, okay? What happens is, after a certain point, मेरे कुछ traits आप में चले जाएंगे, आपके कुछ traits मेरे में चले जाएंगे, because we cohabit. Cohabit means stay. What happens is, we lose that bond because I become some part of you, you become some part of me. Now that constant version of complete, जो वो incomplete थे पहले, वो complete करने आए, that's completed now. What is the reason they should be together now? Tell me. Is there any reason left that they find that we should be together? Because they have chosen someone just to subconsciously possess them.
But I think you're saying something in the sense of, then what do you think is the, why do you think people get together then? I mean, why should they get together then?
They should get together from a point where they only want to give. They don't want to take. If there is ask yourself this question, is there any trigger point? Is there any trauma, or is there any pattern that is getting repeated if I be with this person? If it is getting, don't be with that person.
I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just, I think it's a give and take process. So I agree with the thing about like wanting to give.
Yeah.
I think mentally we should be aware of the thing that, look, I don't want to, or you should not, or I should not get into this if we feel that, you know, we're going to be maybe definitely exploiting or taking something out of them, or like we want something. But we all want something, and that's why we get into a relationship.
That is the
right?
relationship.
But that's the thing, like otherwise we won't get into relationships.
See, that is the point ना. आप जब खुद में ही abundant हो ना, आप किसी need के वजह से नहीं जाते.
Yeah, but then you don't want to get into a relationship also. For example, if I'm someone who's so secure with myself, right? That, and there are a lot of men and women nowadays who are very secure within themselves, right? So because they have been working on self-love and like self-completion and, you know, feeling fulfilled and stuff. So they're not getting into relationships.
Right.
They're not wanting to be into relationships. So my question was just that then, you know,
what is the point of coming into a relationship?
No, then they won't want to get into a relationship. That's the thing. So then relationships will cease to exist. But I'm not saying that there should be a point where they are only exploiting each other. But I feel like there should be a balance. I feel like there should be a balance where definitely they're getting together with someone because they love them, right? Love is like a complicated thing. So yeah. But I think someone who makes you grow. So the thing is that this is my personal view, that I feel that, you know, even if you're working on yourself, after a while, and you're working on yourself on your own, right? You're working towards self-love, you're working towards self-growth and stuff like that. After a while, you hit a point where you realize that, okay, I can't grow beyond this until and unless I have someone else with me. Because the thing is, it's not out of wanting to have someone. It's more out of realizing that some lessons can only be learned if you have someone with you. Right? For example, how do you share? How do you show compassion? How do you show a sense of forgiveness? How do you show a sense of how do you feel a sense of love? How do you feel that kind of gratitude? Now, that is something we want from that person in that sense, in a non-possessive way, right? We're wanting those things from that person that, okay, I want to be with you so that I can feel those things. But at the same time, you know, maybe getting some things that are not harming you or me, right? Like, I want to be able to feel that love. That's why I'm with you, right? So I'm not harming you, but I want that.
Yeah.
So I think in that sense, want is okay. But giving is so important, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, there are two things, okay? What you mentioned is completely, I agree on that part. Or else there's no point of even having a relationship, right? But there are two things that, do you want to be in love or you want to be loved? There's two things.
And also the concept of love. Because love in itself is such a concept, like such a filmy dunya and stuff like that.
It is again conditioned. Love is completely, as you mentioned, pure and unconditional.
Yes.
So, आप अगर love को चाहना चाहते हो या फिर you want to experience the divine or the unconditional or pure love ना, firstly the more deeply integrated love you do with yourself, the same way you will be doing to someone else.
Yeah.
Or else it will be like, what I feel is, you are in a journey, I'm in a journey. Now we decide that we both will come together. Where I saw that, yeah, you are doing good in your journey, I'm doing good in my journey, and we feel that if we come along, we'll be doing something different. I mean, we'll be expanding each other as well as working on ourselves. It's kind of like from me to we, that journey. I mean, that's very important again. But I feel that the reason that you come to a point where you consciously choose a partner, where you decide that we both will get along, shouldn't be a space where you want something. Because-
Basically, there shouldn't be a need.
Exactly. There shouldn't be a need. When it becomes a need, it's a necessity. It's an attachment where you are conditioned कि अगर ये नहीं मिला then happiness नहीं, मैं happy नहीं हूँ. The space that you're saying कि there are many healers there, many people working on them, so then they're losing that interest of getting into a relationship. Why does that happen is they start dwelling in a frequency where they don't get matching wala frequency. So that is the reason they don't get. But there are normal people, they are experiencing life, they are being in the family atmosphere, but they are thriving more than those people also.
Yeah.
Now the point is, it's not that you be in a family or you marry someone or not. It's about you should grow irrespective of being with someone or not being with someone.
That's true.
And the moment you start investing in yourself, you understand that when we both come together, I will give my 100%, they will give their 100%, and that comes to a point where we both grow.
Yeah.
But because it doesn't happen naturally, why I'll tell you, people try to subconsciously exploit each other. They want कि मैंने ये किया तो तू भी ये कर. अगर मैं ये इतना दे रहा हूँ 5%, you need to give 95%, and that becomes a liability. That becomes, after a point, that becomes a burden to the people. That they feel, because आपके सर पे अगर मैं एक बोझा रख दूंगी, would you feel free? No, right? It feel overburdened. एक point के बाद, if someone is dependent on you emotionally also, it feels burdens.
Oh yeah,
It
definitely.
feels burdensome. Because they would be conditioned कि अगर तुम ये करोगे तो मैं खुश रहूंगा. It's kind of like shifting that responsibility, which is not right. I feel the healthy parents or the happy parents are those, or the happy people are those who do that self-work and choose to be with someone where they can expand and grow. Where they feel that home, जो हमने discuss किया, they feel home. They don't feel कि I have to pretend to be someone else to make this person happy.
Yeah.
वो मेरे को जैसा हूँ, जो हूँ, मेरा जो खराब पॉइंट है, जो अच्छा पॉइंट है, वर्स्ट पॉइंट है, वो मुझे वैसा ही एक्सेप्ट करता है. तो वो मुझे चेंज करने की कोशिश नहीं करता है. दैट इज व्हेन आई फील कि लव इज समथिंग वेयर यू go one step ahead and you fall in love with the process of love. And ये जो लोग सोचते हैं ना कि love हर वक्त एक ही person से होता है, I don't believe in the thing. I feel either अगर आप love होता है आपको, तो either it happens to everyone or it doesn't happen. Everyone means if I'm in love and I'm in love with the concept of love, आप में भी मैं love देखूंगी, उनमें भी मैं लव देखूंगी, उसमें भी मैं लव देखूंगी. I will connect with the frequency of love that is embedded within you. I'll not try to see कि no, ये मेरा इतना relation है, I'll boundary it and I'll be like नहीं. That is a transaction that you're doing. So when you're actually going through in the process of healing and loving yourself and loving the concept of love, being in that process where you're experiencing and expanding as a person, every person you meet, you connect with that frequency that is embedded, that they don't even want to share also, but you connect. And because it's always a mirror, we always meet mirrors. You are a mirror, I'm a mirror, everyone around you is a mirror. Can you pause and reflect? That is the point. And especially the partner that we choose,
Yeah.
we have to learn more lessons that we have not yet learned as an individual. From a healing point of view, I'm saying, where you experience कि मैं अकेली तो ऐसे थी, अब मैं इनके साथ आके या फिर मतलब can I be myself as well as show compassion and love to someone? Can I give? Can I be that, like, motherly figure? Can I be that partner? Can I be that, like, you start experiencing that energy where you start seeing ki I can give endlessly, irrespective of man or woman who are in love, who are in ardent love. If you see, if as you are a writer, as you are into writing and stories and poems, so if you see, why are poets that madly, into that emotion? Because they don't love only a single person. They love everyone around them from a point of view from where they have loved the process of love. So they fall in love with the process of love. To love someone, you don't need a person. You only need yourself and a divine power where you can understand कि मेरे अंदर का जो love का feeling है, जो हमारा emotion है, उसे activate कैसे करना है? Because we have this heart chakra, right? That gets activated when you start prioritizing yourself as well as others. You don't affect others. You don't judge others. You come from a point where you accept others. कोई भी कुछ कर रहा है, आपके आंखों में सब समान है. You don't discriminate. कि ये होगा तो हैप्पीनेस आएगी, नहीं ये होगा तो मैं प्यार करूंगा, ये होगा, नो. दैट इज कॉल्ड कंडीशनिंग, दैट इज कॉल्ड अटैचमेंट. जहाँ पे आप एक जो है ना कि एक वेरी मच lower level frequency पे आप dwell कर रहे हो and you're expecting things. But when you're in love with the process of love now, you don't even, the person comes, the person goes, it doesn't matter, to be honest. I mean, you are complete in yourself. See, you don't go to this relationship to get completed. You go to the relationship to become a source. Like, you are already a source. You go to this relation to serve, not to exploit someone. I mean, I am saying that these all processes are conscious process, which, because healing is tough, it is freaking tough. It is a space where you need to hammer yourself every day, every now and then, and you need to ask yourself, you need to hustle, you need to listen, you need to communicate. जितना चीज आप बाहर एफर्ट डाल रहे हो ना, सारा चीज आपको अंदर डालना है. सारा चीज आप जैसे प्रोफेशनली आप कुछ अकम्प्लिश हो रहे हो एंड यू आर लाइक मैं ये हूँ, आप वो आई को बना रहे हो ना, ईगो को बना रहे हो. यू हैव टू किल दैट ईगो टू एक्सपीरियंस व्हाट इज अबंडेंस लव, बिकॉज लव इज द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट एंड वैल्यूएबल इमोशन इन द होल वर्ल्ड. उससे ही क्रिएशन है, उसी से ही धरती है, उसी से ही आप देख सकते हो कि everything is going in the same way as it is supposed to be. I mean, everything has been perfect. Like, there's nothing to be changed. जब आप उतना acceptance का level जब आपका उतना बढ़ जाता है, you try to look into people or mirror people from a way where you see your reflection in them. Suppose अभी अगर आप मुझे बोलोगे कि निष्ठा आप ये हो या फिर वो हो, you're not loving me. You're loving your reflection that you see within me. I am a mirror. You're seeing, you're connecting with that love part that you are, and you're resonating with that. So it's never the other person. It's always you. And the more you fall in love with yourself, the more ardently and purely you love others. And you would not expect, you would not beg for it. You would not demand for it. You would be a very big source where, because as we see that universe is nothing but some space or an energy powerhouse where it has lot of emotions, lot of energies. So you connect with that frequency of love where you start giving, you start being the source, and the more bigger source you are, the more humbleness, the more acceptance, the more kindness, compassion you will behold. And आपके पास कोई businessman भी आएगा, आपके पास कोई farmer भी आएगा, आपके लिए दोनों same होंगे. You won't judge, but there are people, they attach that social tag, they attach that me wala thing, I wala thing, and they start judging कि आपका क्या ही है, what are you? But beyond this body, beyond this mind, there exists something which is out of science, like something that cannot be understood, can only be experienced, can only be felt. So that is what we talk about, consciousness and spiritual awakening and all these things. So it is all very much connected. And I want to say a quote that like I wrote few days, like not few days back, it's been months that I wrote, that people try to fall in love with the parts of you that resonates or that aligns with their unhealed parts. That resonates with their unhealed parts. I mean, I'll tell you the exact thing that I wrote. So there's this quote that I wrote, which says that people love the part of you which resembles the unhealed part in their stories. I mean, it is so apt that you always, the void wala thing जो हमने बात किया, जो exploitation वाला बात किया, they always fall in love with that part that they have not healed. So it is never from a point where they choose you, where they actually choose you. They need you, they want you, that is the reason they choose you. But I feel जब आपको एक point आ जाता है, जब you are clear, I don't need this person because I'm complete in myself. I don't want this person because I don't want to possess that person. But I choose this person because I want to grow with this person. That conscious choice, that is when you actually accept abundantly. That is one quote. And I feel you need to constantly like invest in people in some way or the other to understand that losing yourself was never worth it. Like there's this quote which says, it is required to lose yourself in search of gaining someone to realize at the end that losing anyone else is fine but not yourself. I mean, you can lose anyone else, that's perfectly fine, but you cannot afford to lose yourself. That is what it is. And the more like love you do to yourself, the more deeply you are aligned or intricately loved by yourself, you come from a space where you become a source. You shower or you resonate with the frequency of abundance, love frequency, where you are a giver, where you are a source. You are not begging for love, you are giving love. And that needs constant hustle with yourself, where you lose your past version to become a better version, to be with someone else who is doing the same hustle and create a space where we can create a home. That is it.
Yeah.
It was nice having you, Kavya. I mean, that podcast was lovely.
Lovely being here, Nishtha.
Yeah. It was amazing talking about love, about energies, about emotions, about happiness. And that was it. And thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Nishtha. Lovely talking to you.
Yeah.
See you then.